So I'm obsessed with making my Jeep XJ the most capable and versatile daily driver it can be, and better lighting and visibility is a big part of that. But I'm also big on achieving that without squandering that retro aura that draws us to these Jeeps in the first place, and every example I see of the opposite makes me more and more sure that that path is a righteous one. So I've been looking into light brands like AUXITO, who have a huge selection of LED bulbs for stock locations, and they actually sent me a set for me to try on and review. And in this video I'll show you what this brand has to offer for an exterior and some interior LED options with my XJ as the guinea pig. We'll unbox them first, go over installation, check out before and afters, and they gave me a discount code for the squad I'll share near the end if you want to pick anything up. But I'll also fess up on what I actually plan to leave in or not, and why. So let my self-inflicted ocular harm from staring at LED bulbs in the dark help you decide on your next easy upgrade. And now that the dark spots of my vision have faded, let's see what's what about AUXITO. LED conversion is S tier on the effort to payoff scale for vehicles still sporting halogens. Just hands down. A little ahead of myself there, let me just... They're more efficient and draw less power. They last much longer while running a lot cooler. And not to mention faster and brighter, which means more visibility for you and underratedly faster visibility to other drivers for quicker reaction times. Now, AUXITO sent me units for my signals or running lights, brake lights, reverse lights, and even some interior bulbs. AUXITO seems to land somewhere in the budget to mid-tier range, and you can check the current prices in the description links or whenever the QRs pop up in this video. Because I was checking around the site and they do seem to have more premium variations that I'm curious about that have some more engineering involved. But regardless, my entry-level units had no hyperflash, which meant I didn't need any separate resistors, and that keeps the spend lower, especially with my discount code later. You can find all the specs like color temps and working hour claims, but first impressions on build quality here, they're pretty good in my non-professional opinion. But one thing is that the chips point to the sides only, which seems odd for the use case, but what do I know? Maybe it relies on that dome design to manage the light appropriately, we'll just have to see. These downward facing vents send heat away from my plastic housings, which seems like a good design choice. They don't feel exactly bulletproof, but we don't really need them to. However, they absolutely cooked on the reverse light design. There's much more engineering going on here. This is a more premium version of their reverse lights. We've got cells pointing in all directions, some metal in the design, and the lens at the top is noticeably more robust and magnifies the side that points to the rear, so I already know this is going to blow my halogens right out of the water. Now next up we have some T10 bulbs, and these are commonly just flat, but AUXITOs have chips that cover all 360 degrees, and these will go into the side markers to replace the tired little bulbs I have in them now. But these will also fit in the interior map light location, so let's see what I like them better for. But alright, let's get these in and cover some installation. Gloves are a good choice if you're squeezing piping hot glass, but all these bulbs pull right out and the new ones pop right in. The AUXITOs were bright as shit, and I don't recommend looking at two of these at once in a dimly lit garage. But when I went to reinstall the housing, I realized it was noticeably bulged out from the heat my halogens have been kicking out for 24 years, so another tick in the win column for the cooler running LEDs. So this junkyard replacement finally got its day. I could almost see these supplementing your headlights, they're actually that bright. And next up are the little T10s for the side markers. The stock one looks like a dirty pebble, and AUXITO's looks like something an alien made. That I instantly dropped on a concrete floor, which would have certainly meant another sharp and invisible mess had I dropped the halogen one. Signals are something you really want other drivers to see quickly and easily, and to no one's surprise, the AUXITOs blew this booger of a light bulb completely out of the water. Aside from being brighter, the light fills more of the housing and it's more saturated. It's more of an orange light with these. This bulb also fits the map light location in the interior, and I figured I'd give it a spin against the cold white ones I already had in there. And here are 3 different colored LEDs for comparison, and a reminder that I really just need to pick one and go with it. More on the map lights in a minute. While we were in here though, I figured I'd give these dome lights a spin. I had a cheapo one in there that just pointed out the front of the car and not downward where the light should actually go, and compared to the AUXITO's design, it makes it look like another obsolete piece of plastic, and those springs made it a lot easier to install. Now I could have sworn this was installed straight when I filmed this, but understand raw dogging thousands of lumens in the dark could not have been good for my ocular health, so I suggest not doing that. But check out the details on my glove as a reference with the old cheapo unit installed compared to the AUXITO. I feel like I'm seeing in 4K in here now. This is a massive quality of life upgrade. I did not expect these to be this effective. And the cargo area got the same treatment. I could actually see what's inside my bag here like someone was holding a flashlight for me. I'm just so impressed by these. But onto the taillights here. These housings are held by 3 bolts and a tab and a rubber slot at the bottom. Quick look at how the stock halogens behave. We see the filaments having to heat up before they hit their full glow, and it looks like my reverse lights are the newest out of the batch. And just like the front, we twist out the assemblies, taking care we don't yank the wiring too much, pressing in the LEDs and twisting the assemblies back home. I was in a darker area for these and ay caramba, it's a jump scare every time how bright these are fully exposed, and let's see how they behave next to the halogens when braking, reversing, and signaling. Appearance-wise, the difference in color isn't as apparent on video, but in person, the LEDs are noticeably more stark and vivid, and the brightness smooths out all the textures from the housing itself. The hazards were a good way to show how much faster they are and how they reach full brightness instantly compared to the halogens that are really just on a perpetual heat up, cool down cycle to emit light. And the LED's brightness is more concentrated in 2D, which is what we actually want back here. All this together makes these behave the way that most drivers are used to seeing on every other modern vehicle. It's not just about brightness. But the reverse lights are a different story, but before I show you how those did, just a quick reminder that simple but impactful upgrades on these XJs are a hyperfixation of mine, so I built an entire storefront linking everything I use in, on, and around mine to help connect fellow owners to stuff I and the rest of the community have success with. Easy improvements, detailing, vetted maintenance parts, and everything else. If you have one you're keeping nice or making better, drop by and check it out. It helps keep this party going and I really appreciate it. So let's see what these reverse lights are made of, because these stalkers are pathetic. The light output washed out the whole shot, and even in a lit garage, these AUXITO reverse lights do not play. I had to watch where I was pointing these things. Side by side with the halogens, I don't even need a caption here. They steal the show completely. Look at these visibility gains we get compared to the halogens. Look at how much more defined that fence is and how much more light bounces off the neighbor's plants. The frame doesn't even do the beam spread justice. And they're more apparent during the day, which pays off in a crowded parking lot scenario where you want your backouts as detectable as possible, and that keeps the dings away. So which ones out of the batch am I actually going to keep in? AUXITO's dome lights blew me away, and even though I would have liked a slightly warmer ambiance in here, I'm loving the ability to see in 4K more, so these are staying. The map lights were a little too yellow for me, so I'm going to opt for their white variant instead. It just wasn't great for interior vibe or visibility, and this color code works much better for exterior applications like our side markers that accept the T10 size. And candidly, I'm on the fence about the front ambers, solely for the fact that I might start to miss that retro honeycomb vibe they smooth over, but the visibility gains are tough to pass up on, absolutely a matter of opinion here. The taillights, however, are staying right where they are. I'm very happy with how they perform with the visibility and safety upgrades they bring to the table, and I like the daylight aesthetics too. The light fills those assemblies from corner to corner and adds a sharpness that wasn't there before. And I almost forgot, if you want to grab anything in this video or anything at all from AUXITO's site, they gave me this 15% off code to use my links in the description or the one on the screen right now, and it'll take it off whatever's in your cart. Either way, let me know how these work out for you in the comments, and hit me with a sub for more XJ upgrades and whatever else I get into in this thing. But thanks for watching, I'll catch you in the next one.